Hey everyone. Hi everyone, I'm meatr0o. I'm doing Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls. I'm doing the any % new game monk category. So what that involves is fresh character, no vendors, no stash, no paragon, and it's a great run. Involves a lot of thinking on the fly about map tiles and stitching them together in your head as you go, and efficiency of movement. I'll let my commentator introduce himself.
Hi everybody, I'm Hexen. I'll probably be doing the majority of the talking throughout the run because the run is very, very involved. meatr0o not only has to have his hands busy the whole time, but his brain doesn't get to stop. I'll speak a lot more about it as we get going, but the game is very cerebrally intense. So the point of this run is it's any % Reaper of Souls, so it's a fresh monk, and it has to go from the beginning of Act 1's campaigns all the way to the end, beating Malthael in Act 5. So as soon as Malthael's killed, then we speak to meatr0o, the game ends.
So time will be when I input my first movement, and it'll end after I talk to meatr0o when killing Malthael, but we'll count you in for that. But anyway, ready to go? So 3, 2, 1, go.
I smell fear.
So what meatr0o is going to do here, there is a lot to squeeze in a short amount of time, but meatr0o is going to try and get to level 2 as fast as he possibly can, and we time it at this fight here. There's going to be a big group of zombies that spawn, and he wants to level up the exact moment so that his level up will produce a big AoE explosion that will kill them all at the same time. So you'll see it right now. So what the main objective for meatr0o right now is we want to just keep moving, keep completing objectives to move on to get out of the act. The game is very limited by your movement and your movement speed. So what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and get to level 9 as fast as we possibly can. Level 9, the monk learns dash. If you play the game properly, getting to level 9 would probably happen nearly towards the end of the act, but we've got a few tricks that can make you get level 9 about halfway through the act. A lot of it is to do with timing a level up, and you get experience by killing random or new enemies for the first time. So you see meatr0o's just tried to kill a wretched mother there, which gives you an experience bonus. He's also going to look for a quill beast in this area too. If he sees any large zombies, there's one over there, but it's a bit out of the way. He'll try and get them too.
We'll definitely run into one later.
Yep. Also coming up right now is another mechanic of the game that we want to exploit. So movement speed really hampers us. What meatr0o is doing here is punching random breakables, so those pumpkins, this stump. He got 10 items crushed in a row, which means that he gets a 41-second speed boost. It's really hard to get enough breakables and to identify them because the game doesn't tend to give you that many in a row, but what you want is a minimum of 7, and then it will give you a speed boost. So if we can see 7 breakables in a row, it's sometimes worth just going a little bit out of your way to get them. So what meatr0o is going to do now, he's finished the quest. He needs to kill 3 wretched mothers. He leveled up to level 3, and then he's going to kill the wretched queen. He checks here for a quick item to see if there's anything that will give him an upgrade. Then he's going to kill the wretched queen here, and he's going to do a trick that we're going to introduce a lot throughout the run. So he's going to talk to Captain Rumford, and he's going to interrupt Leah here as she raises her hand. She teleports to the gate and opens up the gate. That's something that happens a lot in this run, is NPCs will talk to you, and we found that you can manipulate their movement or you can manipulate them if you catch them in the middle of actions. So when she raises her hand, we teleport out of the area, and that interrupts her, and it makes her go and teleport to the gate because she thinks she's being left behind.
Yeah, it's like a sort of an anti-soft lock mechanic. The game is like, oh, you're way ahead of where she should be at the moment. So it'll quickly teleport to the head of the objective you're up to, and it'll happen quite a lot. We'll do it as much as we can with NPCs that we have to wait for.
I suspected what was lurking within his troubled heart. I consoled him as best.
So now in the next bit that we speak to is about how this game works with maps. So this map that we're on right now is the same every single time. There's no difference. We know exactly where we're going. The next room that we're about to go into is nearly completely random, and that's part of why meatr0o can't really speak while doing this run, is because the whole time he's stitching together the map in how he thinks it's going to look and how to get to the end. There are a few rules for every map that we follow, we know. So this map, what you're looking for is the exit. That's a good speed boost. So he stopped there to get to, because he could see that he was roughly around 7, and if he gets 7 breakables, he can get that speed boost. So what meatr0o is looking for right now is the exit that will appear on the map. Right now in this map, there's no real clear way to tell which way you want to go. He probably wants to kill one of these bats too, get to level 5. So yeah, hard to tell if we're going the right way. That looks like a dead end. This map doesn't look too great. So the point of what we're trying to do here is just check all the straight lines and see if you can see a pop-up on the map in the top right hand of the screen. You can see the little glowing icon that'll let you know that the exit is there as you get close to it. So what the game does when it builds a map is it's got tiles like a jigsaw piece. So not the map's completely random, but how the map's stitched together is. So once he gets onto a tile, he knows what this looks like, this jigsaw piece, but it's pieced together randomly every time. There's also, so those elites there, the blue ones, they a lot of them have different skills. Some of them don't matter to us, some of them absolutely slow us down. Waller is what that one was, and it absolutely slows us down.
Yeah, unfortunately, early game, they're all the really bad ones for speedrunning.
Yeah.
It's all Wallers and Vortex and Knockback and all these things slow you.
So what meatr0o is going to try and do, because the map's generated badly, you can see the pop-up on the map right now. So that map has a 1 in 3 chance of being really good. You just got to pick the right direction. There's no way to tell which way's which. Sometimes you just have to guess. This tile's not too great though, because you also have to do a big wraparound. So what we're going to do in this room coming up is this is at a cutscene, and we're going to do this a lot. This cutscene loads up, and meatr0o tries to walk while still in the cutscene. He'll cue his step to go down the stairs, and as he gets to the bottom of the stairs, the cutscene still loads, and then this event starts. The event, right now, the slow part is just waiting for these skeletons to spawn, and as he stands at the bottom of the stairs, the skeletons then spawn while we're sitting there waiting in the cutscene, so we don't have to do both things back to back. Club dropping there's really good. So another thing to talk about what we need as well, in the information dump that this game is meatr0o also needs damage. The things that are most important stats-wise are damage and movement speed. So movement speed is really important. We want to be running as fast as we can. And then damage, as our damage can fall off pretty far and make fights take a really long time. But it's possible to get items that will make fights really trivial. There's a few legendaries we really want. Balance is a two-handed staff that is really, really good. What meatr0o is doing here is he's trying to attract the zombies all into a big clump so he can flashing tail kick and get them all in one go. Sometimes they don't follow. Also coming up, this is the trick that is going to get us to level 9 as quick as we possibly can. So meatr0o's level 6. And we've got a trick here that's going to let him skip 2.5 levels, roughly, maybe even 9, up to 9 sometimes. So what we do here is he needs to win this fight here, stand here, and not accept the quest. So what he'll do is, go back into town. Are you waypointing or are you exiting?
No waypointing.
Oh, okay, and then leaving, gotcha. So he'll go out, and then we're going to go the game settings, put it up to Torment 6, which is the highest difficulty you can do here. Go back into the game, accept that quest, and then you're going to hand it in, assuming it was on the hugest difficulty. So it's one of the only places you can really do this in the game. But so because he hands that quest in, Hadrig now appears up here for some reason. And you get a waypoint, a TP back there for some reason. So now he's level 8. He's 1 bar away from level 9, which is really good. So he's got a quick bit of menuing he has to do, and he's going to do it while not slowing down, which is really hard in that bit. You've got to change 3 skills while not slowing down.
Hard on this keyboard as well.
Yep. And check your items as well, because you got an item after that quest all the time too. Empowered Shrine is really good. It's a shame we don't have dash. We'll talk about shrines in a second.
Might be able to get it, yeah.
So yeah, being 1 bar away is really good. So what he's probably going to try and do here is get a kill streak. So some of these monsters here he hasn't seen before. So he'll get an experience boost. He's half a bar away. So what he wants to try and do is get as many enemies queued up as he can, especially those exploding zombies. Pile them up, and then let them explode on all of them and try and get a kill streak. If you get a kill streak above 25, it'll keep... Oh, gotta be quiet. So meatr0o's checking for an audio cue here.
Sorry about the noise, yeah.
So we have to be quiet again.
Got it.
So these crypts, there's 3 crypts here that will, they're just random. There's no rhyme or reason. It's just random which one is the correct way. One of them leads to progress the story. So meatr0o is now level 9. He's got dash. He can now start actually moving, and you'll see why we pick Monk once he starts to dash and dash over stuff.
Still have a bit of empowered shrine too, which gives me shorter cooldowns, so I can...
Yeah, so what he's done there is when you enter the crypt, there's an audio cue if you know what to listen for. As soon as you enter it, there's like a windy sort of sound that comes in the correct crypt. So you've got to turn your volume up really high and listen to it. It takes a lot of practice to try and work out which one it is, but the correct crypt only has that noise, which is a weird thing for them to include in the game, but they did. So in this room sucks. These skeletal necromancers there, what they'll do is just revive skeletons on you the whole fight. This guy, Chancellor Amen, is just going to run away. So meatr0o equips Blind, and Blind lets him stun the Chancellor for a short amount of time. He still runs away and ranges you and knocks you back, so that fight usually is pretty bad. That was not too bad, that fight though. So now what you're going to see is a lot of dashing. So the things that we need now are just to get as low cooldown as we can. So every time we see a empowered shrine, that's really good. Every time we see a fleeting shrine, that increases his movement speed. He wants to keep getting speed boost by breaking breakables. And yeah, anything that he can do to increase his movement speed at this point is what he wants. We're also sort of not interested in fighting stuff anymore. We're going to, that's a frenzied shrine, will increase his attack speed. Yeah, we're not so interested in killing stuff anymore because we're not really trying to get levels. Because what this game does is the enemies level up with you. So if you don't collect new items constantly, you will only get, you'll get outscaled by the enemies. So really, every time you get an increase, or every time you get a level up, the game just gets harder for you. That's a rough map. So ideally what we want to do is to kill less enemies at this point, but find better items. The items also hide behind a loot table of your level, so you can't get some items until you level up. So roughly we want to get to round 11, and then we start to see the items that we really want. We will still level up no matter what. Like the game will, you have to kill things.
And you get experience for quests as well.
Yeah, so we'll probably end up finishing the game at around level 20, something like that. But you want to make sure that you're not leveling too much, you're not spending too much time killing stuff unless you do have something good. So currently we have no good items.
So I just did another force warp of the Templar there.
So the Templar as well is going to be the follower that we're going to have for the whole game. There's a prompt going to come up where meatr0o has to say yes or no, and I click no every time because I'm an idiot. But you have the option to pick him up here and stay with you. He does actually help. He can save you a lot of times when you're trying to teleport out of a dicey area. He does come with skills to taunt and heal you, and taunt for you and heal for you. So he's good to have. Part of the run which is really difficult that meatr0o is good at is you can equip him with items to make him stronger as the game goes on, but you can't slow down. So itemizing on the run is something that's very difficult part of the run, which we'll talk about as well in a second. So what meatr0o is doing now is this map spawns in a square. He's right now at the bottom of the square, and he's trying to work out at what point he just entered. So there's an A, B, and C spawn that you come out, and you're either in the left, the middle, or the right. So meatr0o spawned on the left that time, so the A spawn. And so what he's trying to work out is the exit to this one can spawn in 9 locations. So either on the left center, left top, center top, and you've got to walk around the box. And it's just bad, good luck which way it spawns. So it could be right here, and it is.
Here we go.
So it's not too bad. It's like halfway. At times you can go to the right, and it can be all the way to the left, and you just got to run a complete circle. And that's when you know you haven't done well. So we've got some free movement speed here. There's always a lot of jars here. Coming up is the first boss, or mid-boss fight of the game. It's Leoric. It's also our first legendary, usually. So he will always drop Leoric's crown. It's probably the only thing in our loot table right now to drop. So it's not super good. It gives us, what is it? Cooldown on our gems or something. I don't know what it does.
Yeah, it increases the value of gems you put in it, but we don't get gems until we'll probably deprecate the helmet. So it's pretty bad legendary to give you that early.
Yeah, and we'll literally probably never put a gem into our gear. So
Just got another cutscene skip here. So that door, we try and get closed during the cutscene. Another action trigger, I guess.
yeah, so by walking into the loading zone and having the cutscene start, you can have that door cinematic start while you don't have to watch it, so it's just saving time. So the fight with Leoric's about to start.
It's going to be slow.
Yeah, what we're looking for is better weapons, like a good two-hander or something like that, and we've got pretty low damage weapons. So the worst thing that Leoric can do is he can't kill us. We can kill him, but slowly. But what he's going to do is he'll teleport backwards away from us and make us fight him across the map. What meatr0o is doing here is he's positioning him so that Leoric always has his back to the wall. So you'll see soon that that Leoric right now is going to try and teleport backwards, but he teleports backwards to the stairs there, so we can keep him where the exit is going to be. As soon as Leoric dies, we're going to get our first legendary, hopefully a good weapon upgrade, hopefully a good boost in some movement speed, and then we can move on. So we've probably got a little bit of time for donations if there are any. Probably a short amount of time.
Sure. We have a $50 donation from SRD37 who wishes to put this towards naming the Playtop restaurant Hindley Street Macca's. On that note, we do have the bid war going for that. The Lumpy Pumpkin is still winning, but Hindley Street Macca's is in second place.
Yeah, I can see in the chat someone saying that Demon Hunter has more movement options as well, but ramp is rougher. Demon Hunter is, and so I may as well talk about the differences between the classes and why we pick Monk. So pretty much every single class is a lot slower than Monk, and the reason is because of Dashing Strike. So every other class tends to get some sort of movement skill, but they just get them too late. Like Wizard gets a teleport as well, but it gets it at like level 30. You know, the run's already over by the time they get their movement tech, whereas Monk gets at level 9, and just getting it so early is just such an advantage. Because really, the game is just running from beginning to end. Okay, so what meatr0o is doing right now is he's looking for the Khazra Den. This can spawn in 4 locations, so he's just checking its A, B, C, and D spawn. So that's the C spawn, so it's at the last spawn, which is a bit unlucky. So he's got to walk in. This map is not random, but the locations the Khazra Den can spawn are. So he's run to the last spot, and there it is. So what he's going to do here is the first example of a trick called fiddle skip. So what he'll do is every time you interact with an item, especially like a key item, if you click on it, they do this like movement with their hands that just you sit there and wait for it to finish. But what we found is if you click it within 30 milliseconds of the animation starting, you run a skill that changes your the monk's act, gives the monk an action. It will interrupt that movement and he'll just stand still, but the action will go through. So you can interrupt that, him fiddling with it. So he'll do it now. I think you got it. No. Try again.
Nope. I'll skip it.
So what happens is, it's very hard on a different keyboard as well. Because you've got a 30 millisecond window to click on it and then interrupt it with Tempest Rush. So when you interrupt it, it will still go through and you can start your teleport, go back to town, because the teleport takes how long? 4 seconds? 5 seconds?
Oh my god.
Yeah, so it takes Oh, empowered shrine, excellent.
I have great power within me too.
So what we're doing now is heading towards
No control over mine.
2 more fiddle skips, probably, yeah, 2 more fiddle skips that are going to come up soon.
It's only happened a few times in
Metro's
my
got to do a
life,
run
and only when I was in
up
grave
to
danger.
start this fight with the... What is he? Brigand?
Thieves Guild hideout guy.
Yeah. So the only real thing here that's worth knowing is this guy, like every single fight in this game, the people you're trying to fight, they just run away. So it's just like annoying to speedrun, not hard to fight. So what Metro's going to do here is he saves up his dash, and he's going to dash to try and interrupt the scoundrel's movement, so that the scoundrel will just teleport to him here like he just did. So rather than having to wait for him to walk up, because you literally get there and then he walks up behind you slowly, he'll then just teleport to you instantly. And nearly every NPC we interact with, we try to find a way to make them do that rather than waste our time with their animations. So what we're also looking for here is, there's no skill. So we're looking to try and get 7 breakables as well. That section gives you 6 annoyingly. There can be a pile of skulls there that can give you the 7 to give you the movement speed. So yeah, in this crypt, the whole thing is just a huge mob of skeletons, not a huge amount to do. You've just got to collect these 2 beacons. It's just dodging the skeletons. You try and sort of path to keep them in one direction to give yourself a way out. You need to save a bit of spirit so that you have enough Tempest Rush, so if you do get stuck you can Tempest Rush through them, because Tempest Rush allows you to walk through enemies. And if you've got dashes, and Metro luckily has an empowered shrine, you can dash through them. So this bit, you're literally just trying to hope that they don't have a bad effects. The elite, they got knockback, so you don't want to get hit. Knockback slows you down, knocks you away. Metro's taking a big risk by teleporting right there. Templar saved him. So here's going to be a fiddle skip. He's going to try the first one, not the second. Got the first one.
Nice.
Don't do the second, don't need to.
Yeah, you have to wait for this bridge to come down anyway, so it's no point doing the fiddle there.
So it's the same thing there. If you interact with it without doing that fiddle skip, you will have to stand there and just mess around with it. You get locked in for like 2 seconds. But with that fiddle skip, you can just walk Tempest Rush and then walk away. Yeah, after this fight, there's going to be another fiddle skip that he's going to do. There's just a bunch of fighting here, so if you've got any other donations, you probably sneak them in.
Sure, will do. We have $20 from Alicat and Nikosar saying, "Good luck, Metro. Seeing your Diablo runs is always a treat, especially when they come with such great commentary. Hi, Hexen. Wishing you helpful maps and drops for the run. Put this towards runner's choice."
Thanks, Alicat and Nikosar. So here we're going to try the fiddle skip. This one's really hard. He got it. That one, I just 50% of the time I can pull it off. It's so annoying.
Yeah, it's part of it is...
Here's a cool dash.
Yeah, part of the fiddle skip there is you've got to stop before you start interacting, or you just Tempest Rush over the sword shard, and nothing spawns there until it's available. It's just hard to set up the start of it.
And so it's worth noting, also one of the reasons why the monk is the best is with dash, you get the ability to dash over walls, and just to save the amount of walking that the game makes you do. So things like that, little optimizations, and really like the game doesn't really include any sequence breaks. And I mean, we're just desperate to find one, but just can't. If anyone finds one, please tell me. But so the main thing that we can do to optimize the game is to find dashes that do save time, and there's a lot of them.
This is doing my head in. Sorry, I keep pressing the Windows key. It's in the position where my muscle memory thinks my Alt key is.
So there's going to be a good dash here, through this wall. A really good one after this fight too. So he saves a couple of breakables in there so that he can break them when he comes back in. Kane just died, by the way, if you didn't know. So he's going to break a few of these, get his speed boost up. Oh, he probably just dropped it. Now he got it. So you're going to dash over the church. That's a really good one. So you can only dash a finite amount of distance, and if the thing you're trying to dash over is longer, you can't dash. So this is a really good time save, is he's going to dash down this rather than walk down this huge amount of stairs. Nearly no class can do that at this point, and to save that walk is big time save. I'm going to run this optimized. So I haven't mentioned it yet, but Metro is the world record holder by some distance with, I think his time is 1 hour 35 And yeah, that's the time.
Change.
Yeah, that time. And I think he's actually just beaten that record for the first time in 2 or 3 years, wasn't it, recently?
yeah, while practicing for ASM.
Yeah, so we found a few little things that probably helped, but not a lot, not enough. Like this run is really hard, and you can see just by how much, and especially as the run goes on, you'll see how much map knowledge is required. So this map is, you can go 2 ways, northeast or southwest. As soon as you go in, you've got to pick which one. It's just 50-50, you can't tell. So Metro has luckily found the correct way very quickly. So when you get on this bend that he's on, that's the indicator that you've gone the correct way. You just go a little bit southeast, a little bit northeast, and you're at the next sub-boss fight, which is Queen Aranea, a big spider. So
Good damage.
you can literally go 8 different directions in this, and it's just such a time sink, and there's little you can do to predict it. So this fight you can, if you have enough damage, we don't have it right now, but you can one cycle it here. You need to have had a legendary drop by this point to get it. But so what he's going to do is calm his damage down to start, try and get it down to as close to 50% as he can, and then burst right at the end when she starts getting into animations. So she's like other NPCs, when she starts an animation, she gets stuck in it. So he's going to try and do no damage right now, just a really slow amount, get her in that animation, then dump all his damage really quickly.
Not enough.
Yeah, you just don't have enough damage. So really you want to try and get her in that second phase if you've got great damage. So 3 cycle is pretty normal. Like 90% of runs, you're going to 3 cycle it. So she's not going to run away anymore. She's going to stand here. He's going to kill her, activate the NPC, wasting time. Legendaries can really start to drop now, so like every time we have a boss fight or really kill anything, we're really looking for something good to drop. This quest is optional, you don't actually have to pick it up, but what it does is if you do speak to her, like you can just walk away and continue the game, but the quest icon, the quest marker doesn't come up, so you don't get to see any advanced notice what we have to find the Khazra staff, and it spawns in 3 locations, and they're pretty far away from each other, so it's just quicker to talk to her and get that pretty generous map icon that the game gives you.
So I already know it's not in the first one.
Yeah, there's a close spawn just over there, so it's spawn second, which isn't bad. This is right near the gate that we need to go to, so like we're essentially going this way anyway. Metro needs to save up 2 dashes, because what we can do is, like other classes, right now would have to walk up this winding path to get up there, but you'll see what Monk does.
Got my first move speed boots.
Yep, great.
I think Hexen's the world record holder for not getting move speed in a whole run.
Yeah, I got them in middle of Act 5. Not one movement speed boot dropped the entire game, which to me is insane. So yeah, another example of this here. He's going to wait. He's going to get his charge back at the perfect moment, dash over these mobs here, and then rather than having to walk up the stairs, he can just dash the whole time. So coming up, 2 shrines can spawn in this entrance to Leoric's Manor. This is sort of like the end run of the act. So we're nearly finished Act 1. He's going to have a quick, brief look to see if he can find a movement speed shrine or an empowered shrine something. So there's one shrine, it's not good, he's just going to ignore it.
Too far away.
So this is a really good skip. There's another reason why you want to be a monk. Is he's going to dash over the wall here. And what you have to do in here is you've got to fight and kill all these monsters here, but what Metro's going to do is get to the bottom of the stairs and dash through the wall and skip the entire event. I just found recently that you don't have to... We used to have to kill those 2 mobs at the bottom of the stairs, then walk to the wall and dash down, but we found a setup where you can just dash on the stairs and you get to then use another extra dash walking up. Oh, this
YOLO!
Is, yeah, never going to work. Now as we'll talk about this now too, so much content in this game. You cannot dash over a wall that has a closed door, which is a really annoying feature, which I think is part of the reason why the game doesn't have really any sequence breaks. But so that dash that Metro just tried to do is doable if those 2 doors don't spawn, and it's just random chance if they spawn or not. So he'll attempt it because you save that entire crisscross walk you do down there if you pull it off, but when you do dash and it doesn't work, you're like, well, there's doors there, and of course there were doors there. You'll see it coming up pretty soon that there's a jail that we've got to collect 6 bodies in. So I'll talk about this as well now. These cleavers, this is the indicator that you're on the path to the end of the map. This is essentially what we're looking for in this Halls of Agony level 1. Most maps have a sort of tell like this that let you know that you're either going in the right direction or in the wrong place. There's a lot of instances in the run, and I'll point them out when we get to them. So Halls of Agony level 2 is a randomly generated map, but it follows a rule that you always start in the northwest and that it always ends in the southeast. So meatr0o doesn't have to really make any of the decisions here. He knows exactly where he's going. The game can send you in, like right now, it's making him make a weird decision whether he's going left or right, but he, through experience, knows that he's not going to go right, he's going to go left because it's going to bow back in.
Yeah, you sort of get familiar with what tiles stitch in with what, and you can tell by the position it is on the map that no tiles can end facing that direction, so it sort of gives you a clue about where to go. Sorry, I'm struggling with this keyboard.
Have you got another broken crown in your inventory, or is that...
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd probably...
In the end, so what... The reason why he hasn't checked it is, one, you can't stop. Oh, empowered, that's so good.
So good for this area in particular.
So this is the jail cell I was talking about. There's these 6 bodies that are going to be... And this is a good map too. So the map we want, this is the ideal map where they spawn in this square, like the jail cells are lined like this. They can set up in like a maze, and if they do that, there's just doors everywhere and you can't dash through them. So what meatr0o can do though is dash over them. So you can see he's dashing over the doors and then walking back. It lets you go over, then you get one hit on the doors and you can break them. He's gotten 5 on one side, which is nuts. So all he has to do is go on this side, which is the exact same on the southeast side as it is on the northwest side. He's just got to find one body, which, you know, would be great if it was right here, but it doesn't look like it is. Okay, it's
the worst possible.
But whatever.
Thank you, champion.
How precise are these dashes? So, it depends which ones they are. They're pretty precise. So the monk will dash where you put your mouse to the furthest point that it can dash. So you don't have to be too precise if you're doing a max range dash. But if you were trying to get somewhere specific, you have to put your mouse exactly where it is. So here's another example of a good dash. Don't have to walk around, you're going to dash down and go straight in. So if you... And there's a lot of parallax effect going on when you make these dashes. So if you try and dash down, you need to give it a bit of give when you dash. You've got to go a bit further than you think you do. Otherwise, it'll just dash into the wall and you'll lose your dash. So this map...
you're on the right way.
What you know is the exit is always facing northeast, so the direction he's going. That doesn't mean that he goes northeast to do it though. It could be backwards and you wrap around and go to it, so it could end up being behind you. You just got to make that decision based on how the map looks. It doesn't tend to send you in huge wrong ways. Oh, empowered again. Probably not the best time to get it, but still not bad.
It'll work, yeah.
Yeah, so meatr0o picked the right way. He literally didn't lose any time. He just ran the correct direction. So this is the end of Act 1. He's going to fight the Butcher. This is probably the first time we get a guaranteed legendary at the end of this fight. We really want something good. He can drop hot garbage. So there's a lot of things we don't want. It's pretty much every one-hander in the game. What we want is balance. We want Squirt Samulet. That'd be really good. We could have Lacuni... What are they called? I can't remember what they're called. The Lashing Tail Kick Boots.
Oh, Riviera Dance.
Yeah, Riviera Dance. Got braces. Oh, that's not bad.
Could be good. It's a good one.
Yes, yeah. It's a good one. So this is essentially, this is like one of the highest damage items in the game, but it just requires a bit of work. So balance is the one that we want. It gives you, I think it's like 500% damage increase on your Tempest Rush.
Lashing. Oh, balance, yes.
Yeah. I'll talk more about that in a second, though. I'll talk about what we're doing here. This is a really precise nuts trick. meatr0o's an idiot for attempting it. He could lose 2 minutes if he messes up. Got it. He got it. So this is a trick we just found recently. That's the end of Act 1. We're now into Act 2. Okay, so that's a trick that was just found recently, that if you... Usually at that point we'll finish talking and then we'll press T, that teleports you back to town. If you want to go back to that location, you just walk back to your town portal and you can go in again. What we found though, and so what happens is if you try and talk to Tyrael at that point, while you're town portaling, it will just interrupt and you won't get to... You'll have to start your teleport again. What we found, though, is that if you waypoint, you can talk to him. But if you waypoint and miss, you don't get a town portal back. So you have to go back to the Act 3 or the Dead, whatever it's called.
Halls of Agony 3, so that level just before Butcher. You got to walk through the Butcher's chamber and then walk down the stairs again. So it's
You lose about 2 minutes to save 4 seconds.
really good.
Yeah. So this is another example of NPC manipulation. Metro's going to maybe do. So right now she's wasting our time. So what she's going to do is she's locked onto an enemy somewhere off screen, and Metro has to go over and find the enemy and kill it.
Oh, she's gone.
Unfortunately, it didn't come to us. So usually it's a bug, and you can go over and kill the bug, and then she'll stop looking at it and she'll start doing her animation.
Yeah, we did get a skip before because what's intended there is as we're walking down the path from the town is you talk to her on the way down and she starts following you and walks all the way to that gate. But if we just don't talk to her and walk past her, she warps to us once we get to the gate, and then we don't have to wait for our animation of walking up to the gate and getting in position and that sort of thing. She just TP's right there.
Yeah, we've probably got a little bit of walking time, so you could probably sneak in 1 or 2 donations.
Will do. We have $15 from Ben, Jana, Jordan, and Merlin saying, "For the love of God, please identify that legendary." Cheers to Cloudstrike and Jetstar for keeping us at home. Always love to watch you play for charity. P.S. Merlin says hi. We also have $50 from Anonymous saying, "Big Juicy World Record, Big Juicy Speedrun, Big Juicy Commentary."
Cool, thank you. So yeah, and now I was trying to think of what it was that I forgot to talk about. It was braces. If I forget anything, please say it in the chat 'cause I'm looking at it. So the braces that we got, what they do is, so we talked about Tempest Rush, the 400% increase that you get from balance, which is the best item in the game for us. This is like the poor man's balance. So what it does is every enemy that you blind with blinding
Flash?
Yeah, blinding flash, blinding, whatever it's called, takes 400% of your damage. So you're essentially your Tempest Rush, or takes 400% damage from Tempest Rush. So we get it at a short amount of time, but really what we want the damage for is bosses. So it means every time we fight a boss, we are now going to do the same damage, we just have to blind them. So if we miss the window, then we lose that damage increase. So it's not ideal, but good enough.
That's another thing that you can fiddle skip, but we just don't bother because you got to wait for the NPCs to walk outside anyway. So we just...
You can do it if you're psycho, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, so this fight, we essentially just have to kill everything in the room. What we're going to do, what's annoying after this fight though, is that the guy, you can see the guy just up the top of the screen there who's helping him fight. He'll, what Metro's going to do is talk to him and interrupt him! And then he teleports to the gate. He ran away from us.
We didn't get a perfect one there, but...
Yeah, but so what he'll do is you talk to him and then he starts running to the gate and goes over and opens it for you. But if you talk to him again after you talk to him the first time, he then has his actions interrupted and goes, "I was opening the door, sorry," teleports straight to the door, which is very handy.
But he was actually a good boy and just ran straight to the gate that time.
Yeah, so coming up is a really good dash that was discovered by someone in our community, Naive Squirrel. He found this. It's quite precise. I'll give Metro a little bit of...
Gonna save a dash just in case I mess it up.
There you go.
Glad I saved a dash.
So that saves a whole walk up the stairs, probably another 5-second walk, but really, really precise. Hard to do on a different monitor because you have your own setups. So this is the first sub-boss of Act 2. She doesn't tend to drop anything good. She loves to run away. Metro's damage is okay. It's probably not worth putting blind on for it.
Yeah, I could have, but it's hard enough now, so...
Yeah, because if you can't change your skills while you are being in combat, and it takes a few seconds to get out of combat, and you're in combat pretty much that entire time. So coming up is essentially the walk to Belial. There's not a huge amount to do. Oh, yeah, probably not much to talk about here. We can check in a couple of donations if you want.
No new donations, but I would like to remind everyone we do have some incentives coming up. We have the Plate Up Name the Restaurant incentive bid war, which currently the Lumpy Pumpkin is winning with $77. Hindley Street Macca's is following up with $52. You hate to see it is in third with 30, Worcesters with 21 in fourth, and Bank Street Social with $2 in last. We also have the Call of Duty Modern Warfare Crowd Does Race incentive. We have $716 left on that. So if you would like to see either of those, please donate and let me know to put the money towards that.
So here's another map. This map is absolutely random, and you're going to start seeing this a lot, especially the sewers in Act 2.
Yeah, there's a lot of sewers in Act 2.
And the maps suck. So what you're going to see in this is a lot of dead ends, a lot of three-way splits. meatr0o just walks straight to the end, which is really good. He's going to do another cutscene walk. He just flicked his mouse to end up there right at the last second. You've got like a 1 second window to get there. You've got to kill all these snakes, they're all invisible. Talk to Adria, TP really quick. You can get out. There's a little... probably not a trick here.
Connoisseurs might note that I didn't take Adria's TP that she creates for you. It's actually slightly faster to get inside her TP, but she TPs you further away from where you've got to turn in the quest. So it works out quicker just to TP yourself.
Very mildly.
More sewers?
Yep, so more sewers. These ones are sort of like annoying sewer light. It gets a lot worse. So you're probably annoyed the fact that we're not getting any goblins either, treasure goblins. They don't give anything, it's not worth it.
They just take too long to kill.
Yeah, and they
the loot they drop is definitely not worth the wait.
they mostly drop resource maps, they don't really drop legendary.
Really stopping to fight anything is the enemy of going fast in this game, unfortunately.
Yep. So straight to the exit, it's not too hard to find that one. This map is another set piece map, so there's no no randomness to the map, how it's generated. It looks exactly the same every time. He might be able to get 7...
there's no barrels.
Yeah, no barrels. So there is 7 locations that the exit can spawn, and meatr0o's going to check them all one by one. Could be in the bottom corner here, top left, then you wrap around and you do a big loop. The problem with Act 2 is a lot of places like this, and if you get the last spawn every time, it just adds so much time to your run. So you can play it perfectly and just have a terrible time.
Yeah, so what we're hoping for here is there's a waypoint that we have to come back to when we get back to this zone, so I'm hoping that I find the exit. There's the waypoint.
Yeah, the
So I got a bad waypoint. Great.
And that's a bad spawn, so it's probably going to be one of the last few. Then after that, so yeah, we start to go into a lot of these zones where random places, the items that you need spawn in random places. And the maps are kind of set piecey, but they jigsaw together again, like they did before. Sorry. What we can probably talk about now is itemization while we're doing this run. So we don't need armor, we don't need any sort of survivability, because there's nearly no one in the game that can kill us, especially because most of it, yeah, it's the last spawn ground. Like, yeah, fantastic. So yeah, we literally only need movement speed and the legendaries that we need, we've spoken about. Damage-wise, all we need is balance, really. And so every single boss fight, we're hoping for it to drop. Every single elite that we can come near and we might be able to kill, it might drop. And the issue right now is that we don't really have enough damage to kill elites while passing them. And we also don't really want to kill them because our damage isn't high enough to scale up with them. So if we can get something that can get us to do enough damage to kill elites, we can start to increase our chances of getting better items. So meatr0o's found Fool's Head. What he needs to do now is get out of the area. And this is part of the problem with not having great DPS, is you can't get out of these zones fast. You've got to clear the entire room. Here's one little trick. Adria fakes you out with the quest, and as soon as you get close she starts talking, but we found you can talk to Leah there, and it makes Adria shut up.
We interrupt her by talking to Leah, and then...
Yeah, and then the quest icon comes back. It saves like 1-2 seconds, but it's just annoying sitting there and waiting. It's hearing her say, if you keep holding back, you'll never improve. You have to sit there and wait for her to do it. So this part of the game, this is where it starts to get rough.
Back to the sewers?
Back to the sewers. This part, you can see exit's right there. If we could find a way to dash up, we could sequence break the game, but you just can't. Spent hours trying to do it, and you
Yeah,
can't do it.
so we've got to go through 2 sets of sewers. This western channel first is solved. We know what we're looking for. So there's going to be a loop, and as soon as we hit this loop, we know we're headed in the right direction.
He's in the loop. You just try and not get into the loop.
Yeah, it looks like I've got it already.
Yeah, but so
we go.
yeah, it's right there. So that's a really short run. Then comes Eastern Channel. Eastern Channel is no rhyme or reason. It is an absolute nightmare. It's so unfair with how it lays out. You can be really short and just turn one corner and finish, or you can be sent going down 15 dead ends before you manage to get out. So we're now in the Eastern Channel. I'm just going to do a quick skill change while he's not in combat. So you can see we already have a 3-way split. It can be any of them. You just got to soul read which way you'd like to go.
We have theories about how this works, but
Yeah, like, if it's a treasure chest, don't walk down. It's probably a dead end until it is the exit, but most of the time it isn't. If you see an up ramp, you don't bother. That's an exit. It's not an exit. That's a dead end. So I like seeing these 4-way splits. That tends to sort of mean that you're going in the right direction. Yeah, like this could be a dead end still though. But you can see like it's just going to keep doing it. So hopefully it means this might be the right way because he's seeing treasure chests. He still has that right side of the 4-way that he hasn't gone down, but oh, I know. Seeing those faces on the ground can be dead ends too.
oh, we got it.
Yeah, that's really good. That's not bad.
Yeah.
It's a really good Eastern Channel.
The hard thing about that is that very well could be a dead end in the Eastern Channel, and you have to backtrack so much. There's just so many unreal dead ends that the game doesn't do in any other act to you that bad.
Yeah, like usually it's pretty nice. Then that one, it's just that it could have been a dead end, and you're walking all the way back to the beginning. And I've tried to look for patterns on like where you spawn to where you end, and there's no rhyme or reason, just murder. But so that's one of the rough parts done. The biggest time losses in this act. There's still a few more. So this map, we got a fleeting shrine that is excellent, and you need it for this bit because there is just pure running.
Yeah.
So the exit for this map is always northeast. So all meatr0o has to do is just go northeast.
You'll see me kill this guy quickly with our blind skill and braces, finally.
Yep, so meatr0o's now level 14, so he's gotten his third, so you can see how fast that is. He's gotten his third skill, so he can't really get rid of Tempest Rush because he has to use it to the blind damage. He can't get rid of Dash because we use it non-stop. So we have to wait till we get the third item skill slot to use Equip Blind. Now that he has Blind equipped, he can start to do big damage. He has to make value decisions whether it's worth doing it on elites. So yeah, also what we're looking for here is 6 locations where places can form. We're looking for a cave. That's not it. That's the fake out cave.
Bad waypoint.
So waypoints at spawn 2, which isn't great. He's going to check spawn 3. That's good.
First one.
Yep, so that's the vault. So the vault is just a rehash of the same place we've already been. It is just a little bit bigger than the first one. So this tends to space in like a square similar to the one in Act 1. And there's just ways off the square, and you need to check for places where the body can be. From what I'm aware of, the body cannot spawn on that 4-way tile.
It can if it's in the corner.
But we're just not sure if we're in the corner yet.
Yeah.
So, and that's what meatr0o has to do while he's running, is he's got to try and stitch together what he thinks the map is going to look like in his head. So that wasn't on the corner, it was on the side.
Over here.
Yeah, so it's right there, that's good. So you don't really know where you've entered the zone, and you sort of have to try and guess and piece it together as quick as you can with the information.
So we're going to YOLO it here for the marathon.
Yeah, so normally what he would do is go back southeast there and do a wraparound, but for this, to try and make up some time, he's going to go to the last spawn, skip the other ones.
We're going to bank on it that's just the last spawn right near the exit.
And it isn't. Yeah, so yeah, he went from 1 to 2, skipped 3, went straight to 6. So
I didn't believe enough. That was my bad.
Yeah, so this one is the cave. The cave is pretty solved. You just have to walk in one direction pretty much. It's pretty easy to get from beginning to end.
Yeah, the hard part is just the execution, really. There's so many places to get speed boost. There's so many enemies that block your path, so you've just got to try and keep up your speed.
So you can see what he meant by YOLOing it. That's Valkoven.
Yeah. Oh. What?
That was Cave Betrayal. That was right. I'm sorry. That was Cave. That was Cave. That was Cave.
Oh.
Sorry, I've done you.
You tricked me.
Okay, so Metro now is at level 15. Level 15, we don't really care about levels as much, but there are a few skills that we get that are good for level. So level 15 gives Way of the Falling Star, and it's a rune that attaches to your dash. So you can equip it to your dash, and every time you dash, you get a short burst of move speed. So you can see he gets the lines behind his back. Light and Shrine gives you more experience. So we sort of make decisions based on how the run's going, whether we care about more experience or not.
It's in general good up to level 20, because that's when we stop getting movement tech and the game just starts getting harder.
Yeah, like if you're a bit behind, you don't want to level too hard, because then you're probably going to start hitting level 24, 25 when the game ends, and it just starts to make your life a lot harder. Like bosses start to take a lot longer.
And Malfoil can actually kill you if you're too far behind in damage.
And if you've got a white or blue item and you're trying to finish the game with that, it starts to get really, really rough. Especially because the big damage items at that level that aren't good tend to be really slow. So if you miss, you're just wasting more and more time. So this map always ends northwest, but it's heading in southeast. So what he's probably going to do is, it's going to be really easy to work out, is just head in this direction and then try and get back to going northwest. So the game...
It's really doesn't want to tell me where the exit is.
And you'll see it probably just suddenly end. It'll just be like northwest and it's all over. So it's still sending in southwest, which, you know...
Yeah, I'm worried, but this is the right way.
That's the right way. You got it. It'll just be right here. Blue Shrine, Protection Shrine. So Protection Shrines, we don't care about them at all. So you see how like it ends northwest, and the northwest, he was doing it for like 1 second.
Please.
Gotta get up really quick.
Please.
Damn. Oh, and yeah, frost. And this is like the nightmare when you're trying to get out. There's no other way to get out than TP. One good item, a random legendary to get is what are they called? It's been so long. Homing pads. So homing pads, where if it makes your town portal uninterruptible. So it's not important for nearly all of the run, but there's like a few moments like that in the game where you don't have to stress. You can just get the item, hit TP, and they can't interrupt you. They can't do damage to you. So yeah, really good to get that. So we haven't really. What did we pick up from? Oh, we got the bracelets. That's right. Yeah. So we sort of expect to have random legendaries drop as the game has gone on as well. That hasn't really happened for us this run either. So
had some tough maps too, so hopefully we can make up some time in the next acts.
Yep, and we can make up a ton of time with just a bit of good luck. So if you get one of the good items, it can all change. You can get really good maps and it can all change, and good execution. Like if you, the thing that's good about this is that you can control the game in some aspect by finding those good breakables and chaining them together. By making good dashes and making good map decisions. So like you're not sort of at RNG's mercy for this game completely, but if you do execute perfectly, there still is a big element of RNG. So these maps that Metro's on right now, there's two of them. They look pretty similar, but they operate, the way the match stitches together is very different. So this one, Unknown Depths, is very random. You're essentially looking for a long walkway, and I think Metro's on it right now, and it lets you know that it's all over.
Wasn't too bad.
Yeah, so this one is the harder of the two. Once he gets onto this long walkway, he knows where he is. He doesn't have to stress anymore. He's got to click on the exit, get some move speed if he can, which is good. And you'll see he's really sparing with when he uses his Tempest Rush, because he needs to have a little bit of spirit in the bank at all times, just to make sure that if he gets stuck and blocked between some minions that he can get out. So this one, you want him to spawn either northwest or southeast. He spawned northeast, which sucks, but he lucked it first time.
Always lucky.
So what this map does is it always, the exit is always northwest or southeast. So if you spawn on northwest, it has to be southeast, so you don't have to make any decisions. If you spawn on southwest or northeast, it can be 50-50. So Metro just 50-50 the correct way first time. Oh, great. Yeah, and this map's weird. Lucky.
Yeah, good. That was a very weird map.
Yeah. So yeah, same thing. He's looking for the long run. He's on the long run now, so he's safe. It's a much shorter map, this one. Then after this, what he's going to do is go into the Shadow Realm, which is literally just
One of these, except there's more enemies in front of you.
yeah, but it can be really short.
Yeah.
You can spawn. Oh, that's a massive damage upgrade. Also, quickly, what meatr0o also should be doing is holding different item sets in his inventory that he's sort of got to make decisions, quickly read what they do. It's good. Oh, this could be really quick.
Good start.
Yeah, so dash cutting out that corner there is really good. What he's looking for is a three-way tile, which he is essentially... Oh, no, he's
not yet.
and there's the exit is on a three-way tile.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's here. That is
That
so good. That is really quick. So you didn't even get to see the four-way tile because he essentially just dashed the corner. That's one of the examples of a really good example of that map where he just dashed a corner, and he's there. He can normally make you run a lot more. So he's now at the fight against Cool.
I'd like to have more spirit for this. But
So he's going to try and get him in the corner. His damage has gone up so much with this pole arm that he's picked up. It was like 300% increase or something. Dash the corner to get the Black Soulstone and quickly TP out. So you see, he really tries to look at his inventory on the fly, and the only thing that we're checking is just damage. On weapons, you can pay attention to a few extra things. A spirit regen is one of the most important ones apart from damage on weapons, because if you get spirit regen, it'll passively increase your regen while you're running, so then he doesn't have to stress too much about, because the only way you generate resource is by punching stuff. So if he doesn't punch anyone, he gains no resource, so he literally has to stop running to do it. So gaining spirit regen, he can quickly switch to his spirit regen staff and then switch back to his damage staff. In this bit as well, I haven't mentioned what we're doing, but in these carts, he can fiddle skip each of them, but he doesn't have enough spirit, which is, I think spirit regen would be really good. You can perfect all of these and you essentially have to get all these carts, then put them in the people that come out from the carts in the sewer. If you can fiddle skip all of these, you can save like a pretty good amount of time. If you miss any of them, you've got to go hunting and find them again, which is a pain. So, this is the end of Act 2. meatr0o's just going to do a quick run, kill some mobs, get some speed boost, then start the fight against Belial, where we will hopefully have enough spirit to do a full Tempest Rush on him, and he should die in like 1 second. So if there's any donations, you can quickly sneak them in now.
No donations, but I would just like to remind everyone who we are and what we're doing. We're AusSpeedruns, and we're doing this marathon to raise money for the Game on Cancer charity foundation, who are raising money to promote early career cancer research in all areas to make this the last generation that will suffer death from cancer.
So in this fight, what we have to do is kill the serpents that randomly spawn. They spawn off camera. They spawn far left, far right. You just got to run back and forth between them all and not to die. He's going to save his... Good damage. Nice, yeah. So he's one-shot in there. So that's really good. So he doesn't have to use his blind there. He can save it for the fight. So he's going to wait till Belial's fully active. Blind, Tempest Rush, and melt him. So that fight, very quick. So now we're going to get a legendary. It needs to be a good one. It's a helm. We don't care about helms.
I need to go back.
It's the Lyrics crown.
I thought I got rid of you.
Yeah, so that's number 3. 3 Lyrics crowns in the 1 runs. Lovely. So that's the end of Act 2. So you start the act by talking to Tyrael, or you think you do. You can just TP and ignore him. So it saves time having to talk and walk. So this map coming up is really impressive. There's a lot of cool dashes. That's the first one. So what you have to do is light 5 signal fires. What meatr0o is going to do is a cool dash nearly to every single one of them. With the first one being the best, I think. So he's going to dash down here and he's going to position his mouse in the perfect spot. Hopefully with this keyboard and everything it's going to be fine. Dash up the wall. That's so good. So, and that's perfect. You can't have the mouse in the wrong spot or that doesn't work. This one is... you dash this? You don't. I don't.
I'll dash off.
Yeah, dash off. So you dash the corner, then you dash up to this corner. Oh, you don't. I do. I don't
Move a bit quick, so I save it.
Yeah, in the end, don't take my dash advice. Take the World Record holder's dash advice.
So I'll save them here for a double dash that's coming up.
Up the wall, down the wall. And as mentioned before, with other classes, there's a lot of walking in this. So the amount of time that being a monk saves in this, the difference in the records is meatr0o's 1:35 to Demon Hunter's hour 50. Something like that. So the monk saves a lot of time. And this is the last one, similar to the first one. So break this crate, stat in the corner, very clean. That's a very, very clean element. So in this next bit, there is not a lot to talk about, not a lot to do.
Yeah, first break of the run.
Yeah, this is literally the first time the meatr0o can have a relax. So you literally just, you can check your another Lyrics crown. Maybe it might have some damage on it. Yeah, 4%, that's not great, but whatever. Got some dex. Yeah, we're literally just waiting for the bridge to come up. You can't speed it up. Killing stuff doesn't help. He's just going to punch things for spirit, pretty much. Check out the monk. Yeah, it's literally just to relax. And it's good because the run is pretty, like, stressful for the most part. And then, so this is like a really short break that you actually can.
So this is a very scary part of the run.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that?
Oh, yeah. So, what's coming up is the first or only soft lock of any percent. So, the game can end right here if meatr0o messes up. What happens is, and it's of our own design, what the game wants you to do is to go over and free these, or raise these catapults. You've got to stay and nurse the people that are raising the catapults and protect them. But what we're going to do is just not protect them. We're going to walk ahead, but do it so fast that it deloads the enemies that are going to spawn. So meatr0o's going to dash through the...
Like all these guys, dash through the next.
Yeah, and then dash through these people. And then so the gate opens up, but the mobs will hopefully not spawn, and we'll continue. And we won't know if we're going to soft lock until a short amount of time. So this one is another one that you start the event, walk away, and if you don't stay, the mobs will hopefully not despawn. So the one thing that can get you is if an elite spawns around those areas, you have to stay and fight if that's the case. Because they'll walk up and
they're tenacious. They don't give up. They don't stop chasing you. So they'll walk up, and as soon as the men come out to start raising the catapults, they just kill them, and then it soft locks the game. The catapults never come out.
And isn't that crazy? Diablo, there's no recourse for that. You just have to quit and start this whole thing again. They don't tell you that you failed or anything. They just it never completes. The bars will go in further. So with this, the 3 catapults that we raised, number 2 and number 3, actually don't really matter. Like, they'll finish before the first one finishes. So really, it's just how fast you get to that first one is how fast this goes. We'll finish this one just because you have to finish it, but it doesn't matter if he's quick or slow or whatever. As long as it gets there in the end. So the third one's now finished. meatr0o's not even going to go back and check the other 2. The second one is now finished. So the second one didn't soft lock, which is good. The first one has gone past the soft lock point nearly.
There's another one here.
So meatr0o's just going to hang.
Looks like we're good.
Yeah. So now what we've got to do is sit here and wait for Ethereal to come up to say the last one was finished. And then we move on to head towards one of the more random parts of Act 3. The keep depths level 1 and 2. So level 1's not too bad. What you're trying to do...
I hate level 1 more than I hate level 2.
Oh, okay, I hate level 2. It's the same principle with most of the maps, is you know where the exit is going to be facing, but getting there is another thing. And why this place sucks specifically is non-stop shut doors. So because there's doors, see all these doors that are open is really good. Lots of breakers here. So you can dash over those walls. If you can dash over every wall, this place is a breeze. But you can't because there's just random shut doors everywhere and you won't know until you attempt. So with experience, you begin to know what you kind of can and can't take a risk on. But there are some places that you can cut out. Like he would love to try that dash there, but he can't because that door's going to block him. So what he's trying to do is, he's trying to find, the exit is always facing northwest. And he wants to find this tile. Yeah, so he wants to find this lava tile. Break that door. go up. So that was a pretty good one.
Yeah, it gets nervy when you're not heading in a direction that can go northeast. Am I going the right way?
Yep, so this one also ends northwest, and what he wants to look for is a tile similar to this, like it was a little bit of frost. That was a really good dash. Where you're heading northwest, you see a bit of frost, and then it will lead to the exit. So every time you're not going northwest, you're essentially running in the wrong direction.
You're running away from the exit.
Yeah, so, and the game is doing it to slow you down. So you're just going to keep trying to go northwest as much as you can, but it's, are you going northeast or southwest to get there, if that makes sense. So we've seen a repeat of the same tile twice. You're probably getting close though, so if this isn't a dead end,
This looks like
that's it. Yeah, that was a pretty short one.
That was a really good going, yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's good because those two tiles repeated. They're not too complicated, there's not a lot of doors in them. If you tend to zigzag a lot, okay, so this way the exit is always either northwest, southeast, or southeast or northeast. So he's going to try northeast first, which is probably not it.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Southeast is the slowest.
Yeah, we try and check that one first, just a high roll, but yeah, this
Yeah.
one's...
And you're always making decisions like that. You want to try and pick the potential quickest. So
We'll go
you
for
can
another
dash this, maybe. No, there's a shut door. So you can dash that corner and make this easy, but that one shut door means you can't do it, so you've got to walk the whole way around. So this southeast is the correct way. This is where Gom is. The Gom fight, usually we would 7-sided strike, but we don't need it because we have blind. So 7-sided strike is essentially like a boss killer skill. It does a lot of damage, but spreads it across a group. But if you have one target, it'll do a lot of damage. So meatr0o is just going to blind. Tempest Rush, you can add a Spirit. Hope for Legendary, but it doesn't have to drop there. That's a good upgrade. And those runs, is that a Spirit regen on it?
I'll check in a sec.
This is just a little set piece. You just got to stand there and make now it's a shot. So you're just going to kill these shadow dudes that spawn. Nothing too outrageous. Get up and leave. And now the run to the end of, the long run to the end of Act 3 starts.
Going to be running northeast for...
A very long time. So what we want to look out for here is shrines, because there's a lot of places where shrines can spawn and we can get empowered and fleeting. We want to look for elites and blind them if we can, but it's not make or break. And we just essentially don't want to get roadblocked and get a good map. So this map is not random, but there are a few pieces that can be. Frenzied is... So things like this dash down is random. And then the locations of these catapults that we're going to find now. So that's breakable. So there's one catapult, so we're looking for 3. Or 3 ballista. So we check up here, there isn't one. Oh, there is one. And then we go across to, there's going to be one on the east side that we have to get, kill the trebuchet in the middle, and then run across the bridge, and there's a long run across the bridge. You do this first. Yeah, so you can see why fleeting is very strong. Especially in moments like this where there's like not really much you can do to speed it up. With a bit of movement speed. But like he does get movement speed with his dash, the Way of the Falling Star. Empowered! Thank you, and this is the best bit for it. Because right now, all meatr0o is going to be doing is dashing. And he can dash like absolute with Abandon, because by the time he dashes, it's pretty much going to be up again. And Protection Shrine, who cares? You can see there's a lot of dash ups, dash downs. The map here is essentially static, but it's just things like that where the dash up and dash down.
Yeah, there are random tiles, but you know, it's you're traveling in one direction.
Yep.
So
And
there's
this
only
bit,
so much like
this bit is always here. And we've got a new dash here. Bang!
This fight is over.
Yeah, so essentially we're just dashing now towards the second mid-boss of the game, Siege Breaker Assault Beast. He can be pretty annoying, so he doesn't run away from you, but he just has a lot of health. and if you don't have great damage, he's pretty hard to kill. Luckily, we do have good damage now, and we've got enough spirit to maximize it. And we need to kill him quick so we can maximize our power, because there's a lot of action we need to do in the next one. Oh, he stunned him. That's really rough. But we got it back up. Yeah, so the Siege Breaker, he can drop legendaries there, but it takes so long for it to come out that it's just best to move on. You might make a decision yourself if you are having a terrible time that you might sit back and just hope for it to save you, but we've got enough to get by, I think, now. So this map sucks, and all these craters do suck. That is such a good one, though. Jesus. So what can happen is this map loves to fake you out. It can send you really far to the east and then make you backtrack the entire way you came back to the beginning to go all the way to the west. So these maps are set that we're on now. There's no variance to it. So meatr0o knows exactly what he's doing. He knows all his dashes. Some of them, though, so this one is 50. No, this one isn't 50-50.
Yeah, 50-50. There's two different map types that can spawn here. Unfortunately, I got the slow one.
Yeah, and then there's another one which is 50-50. One has an excellent dash, and one you can do nothing about. And you just have to hope that you get the good one.
I'll wait here for this because it's faster.
Yep. So it also looks like you could probably dash down to the exit because you can see it, and it is within range to dash. But what people did when Diablo 3 came out was complained that monks and wizards could dash over walls and other classes couldn't. So Blizzard said okay and took it out. So now no one can dash over these walls, which is really frustrating. So like we've just done a lot of practice in trying to get down to dash and skip walking around in that big circle, but you just can't do it. Here's a cool dash. That's very lovely. The black dash, they call that one. So that one just saves you walking around in a circle.
Don't have 7-sided here, which is annoying.
Yep, so what meatr0o can do here is if he had 7-sided strike equipped, is he can... Oh, but he got it equipped! So what he's going to do is just do damage to Sadea. And what he can do is a trick that he can... Oh no, there's a lead that followed. And he can froze.
Oh my god.
So we need to kill those three succubus that are there and then kill the heart. So what he can do is dash to what? Dash.
Nah,
No, he's not going to go.
over it.
So the way that should go, if the elites can throw, like just ruin all your tricks, is how this goes is you kill Sadea. Yes, kill Sadea. Then when the three succubus spawn, you 7-sided strike and it splits damage across all three of them, and the three of them die. And you'll hopefully do some damage to the heart at the same time too, so all four of them should go down at once. Dash up really quick, waypoint back to this part which becomes active, so then you waypoint ahead of where to a place you've never been before, and it saves you a really good amount of time, so that essentially that entire walk.
That was the exact same map as the
Yeah, that's really good. I feel like the seed that these generated off is like time-based. You start to see the same things when you do it a lot, like month to month. You just like... Yeah, it's just so strange that like, and then you never see it again. Frenzy Trine, which is good, leading up to the bosses. We can keep there quick enough. So this is Tower of the Curse level 1. We just run in the circle and get to the end of the map. And then the Tower of the Curse level 2 is where we can get a really good dash if it's available. So we want to be on a big set of stairs facing to the right. If you dash here, you can dash up and have to... Yep, we got the good one. Do it! No. Do it. Uh-oh.
I'll wait for it.
Yeah, just show it off. Let's do it. Because look at how much it skips, and it's worth sitting here and waiting. Uh-oh. Do it.
One more time.
Yay! That's great. Yeah, so even still, he saves time waiting. That dash is really good. And it's very hard to do, it's precise. So and everyone's monitor is a bit different to use it on.
The setup, my setup that I usually use doesn't actually work. I guess the resolutions are different.
So what you do is, and what sort of works for us is, to me, I hold it just a bit to the right of the, you have to stand right on that big step and nestle right to the right, and then aim your mouse just a little bit to right of your marker on the map. I think meatr0o's is on the marker on the map. And then if you dash, it'll get you straight down. You can do it first try and skip that entire walk. So this is the fight against Sadia.
We're actually going to kill her this time.
Yeah, we've got 7-sided strike. Super easy, don't have to really stress. Don't really do anything.
I'm going to walk away from these spiders and then TP.
Yep, and then we're going to do the same trick that we talked about before. We can just go back to town, waypoint to the new waypoint that appeared, and go ahead of to a place that we actually haven't been to before. So there's a few points in the game where that is useful, and we'll do it every time it's available. I think the next one is Act 5 that you can use it. So right now we're on the run to the end of Act 3. We're about to fight the boss of the Act, ASM2024. So he will drop a legendary guarantee for us. We hope for it to be a good one. Please everyone say, oh, please Blizzard, please Blizzard. We beg of you Blizzard.
Please RNG.
Give me a balance. We ran this at AGDQ and we got 3 balances in the one run and set the co-op world record in it. And you can see how hard it is to get 1 and we got 3. So the game does not...
Someone from Blizzard was watching.
yeah, and absolutely just like cheated on our behalf. Ooh, that's an amulet. It squirts is pretty good if it squirts.
Yeah, it is. That's pretty good.
So one little trick in co-op that you can do here, so that's the end of the act where we're going into Act 4. What a thing that makes co-op really fun is that you can queue TPs within these cutscenes. So meatr0o can't queue a TP right now because he has to click on the ASM2024. I think, can we do a waypoint there actually? I'll talk about that later. So he can't interact with it because he has to TP, but what can happen is if you're co-oping with someone, they can start their TP, you can click the ASM2024 soul and you can go to town while meatr0o's stuck in that cutscene and you don't have to be. There's a lot of like really cool like teleport queuing and being places where the game doesn't expect you to be because you're playing co-op, you can do in that run. Saves a ton of time, where the meatr0o's world record is an hour 35 and our world record for co-op is an hour 15, I think. And that's with 4 players. Which with 4 players as well, it gives the advantage of you can leapfrog each other with dashes. So one person can use their 2 dashes, then the next person can teleport to them, then 2 dashes, the next person teleport 2 dashes. So you're like leapfrogging each other the entire run. Which, as you would imagine, saves a lot of time. So, there's a cool trick as well here that we're not going to be able to do because we're not in co-op. But there's the growths that are coming up ahead. They block your ability to go into the next area. You still have to continue with the game. It's not really a sequence break. But if we can see one of the growths up there. So that red growth that's at the top of the screen. You can't teleport, dash over them, but we found a setup where if you position your mouse perfectly, you actually can go through them. It's so hard to do, but you can, and it can get you to... Oh, fleet try. Excellent. Nice. We're going to do a lot of running.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you can queue up your second person to go to wait in places they need to wait, which they normally won't be able to access. So it's like... it was Chicken Cat in the Diablo community who discovered that. That was, you know, it's like not a huge time save, but no, actually it is. Yeah, it is good.
It's just significant because it's one of the few places that you can actually...
Oh, first spawn! So that can spawn in 4 random spots, and getting it first spawn saves so much time. So because you have to check every single one of them and run past the exit to go check the last one. So meatr0o's going to be able to use his blind to a great effect here. Because you normally have to kill the big hell smashers there, but you also have to kill the gate that lets you out. So he can just ignore the hell smasher, blind the gate too, and then do the damage. So it's these growths that we want to dash over. Usually you'd have to wait till they're breakable, but you can dash over them before they're breakable. So, same thing here. We're looking for hell rifts. It can spawn there, and it didn't. So it can spawn down. The second spawn down here is possible. And it did! Oh, that's massive. So this is like essentially where your time goes to die. These 2 spaces in this Act 4. So that he found the hell rift that quickly means we're going to get some time back.
Ouch.
Oh, Jailer. So one of the affixes of the elites that he fought then had Jailer, and it trapped him in that location for a few seconds. He can dash out if he has a dash charge, but if you don't have one, you're stuck. So there's a lot of locations he has to check. I think there's 8 in this level, and now he can skip looking at all of them, and he can just run straight to the
Yeah, this is the slow version. There's like 2 different maps that can spawn at this part, and I got the slow one, but luckily it was a very quick version of the slow one, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
So he just run beeline straight to the end. Then we are going to fight the next mid-boss of the run after the run, which is Izuo, who all he wants to do is freeze you and waste
Yeah.
your time. It's another boss that is not out there to kill you, he's out there to slow you down.
So here we have to protect Tyrael. He won't talk to us unless he feels safe.
Yep. You have to kill every enemy around him, so he stops targeting anything and then he's talkable.
Yeah,
Really bad for
this
deletes.
the boss that's coming up. You just have to use your skills perfectly at the right time to avoid getting frozen. Hopefully you have enough damage to kill him before he freezes you, because he'll cast freeze and then once his health hits a certain threshold, he'll just insta-freeze you anyway. So you can get chain frozen and it's just a big time loss unless you can...
Yeah, he can literally freeze you 3 times in a row and you're just standing there stun locked and you can't get out of it. There's skills that let you not be frozen, but they're not. You don't get them until a lot later. So the best thing to do is just have a ton of damage and kill him before he uses it. So, and luckily, meatr0o can blind him, and stunning him does stop him. So we'll hopefully be able to blind him.
Good map.
Yeah, that's a really good map. Yeah, meatr0o will blind him, and then hopefully he won't be able to interact with us, and he'll be dead before he gets unblinded.
So we have to do another one of those spires later. You can see I was just hugging the wall. Those maps, I'm really just like looking at the edge of the map
I will not do that.
to determine where I am. So here's Wow, please don't freeze me.
Don't freeze, just blind. We don't have a lot of spirit. Yep, he didn't really get blinded either for some reason. See, he's doing the second freeze.
I'm at a 7-sided to avoid getting frozen.
Yep.
Yeah, I was trying to do that before that original freeze. It's just a bit too slow. We went very early on. Coward.
Yep, so meatr0o's at the maximum threshold now of move speed from breakables, so he's got a minute move speed.
I'm very close to 20 as well, which is where I want to stop leveling.
Yep, so at level 20 you get the last useful skill of the speed run. It's what's it called? Spirit? Can't remember what it's called. It gives you passive spirit regen. So, and that's, you can imagine how massive that is for us. He's also at level 18 got, was it 21 or 18? I can't remember. Tailwind,
Yeah, Tailwind.
which he hasn't equipped yet. Waiting Shrine.
No, you get it at 20 as well. So you get it. It just makes you, rather than save spirit when you Tempest Rush, we have some spirit regen now, so we'll equip a rune that makes us move faster while we're Tempest Rushing.
That of course costs spirit, so you only use it really when you can. But if you can get some great spirit regen gear, like, and it's sort of the good thing about the run is you kind of can itemize based on what you get in your playstyle changes. So if you don't have a ton of damage, you can sort of focus on being maybe more spirit regenning, and if you get skills that maximize that, you can like commit maybe more to your spirit kill. This Diablo fight mega sucks.
It cannot be
So I'm going to take this a bit slow so I can get some spirit.
He's the boss of the game, and he's actively just running away from you the whole time. So this phase is scary, because if you don't kill him quick, he runs away. So meatr0o's going to 7-sided strike
So I hope I
immediately.
do enough. Yeah.
Yep, and he did it, thank God. So that's a real scary bit. Now Diablo is just going to run away, waste time. He can also trap you if you don't kill him fast enough. meatr0 has blind. The problem with having blind in this bit though is that you lose a little bit of time using it, like just like 1 second or less. But usually you can do damage to him and he'll die, but he won't die until the blind ends. So like if you are doing more damage than the blind time, you're just sitting there waiting for him to be unblinded.
Yeah, white balance is better. So he'll drop a legendary, but again, it'll take too long. So we just leave.
Yeah, it's not worth hanging around.
The Nephilim. Tyrael sent me
So
to find
his meatr0's also got the follower's final skill, which is Inspire, which also increases your resource gain. So now meatr0's spirit regen is possibly the best it's going to be. The only way he can improve it now is with some monk-specific items, which a lot of it you can't get yet, but the weapon you definitely can.
You can roll it on your helm or weapon, but yeah, that's really it.
So coming up is a trick we can't. Good dash. You can't do anything about in solo, but in co-op is a really cool trick. So right now meatr0's going to get stuck in a cutscene. You can time a teleport back in the first zone. It's so hard to do, but it's like you cross one threshold, you make a call to your friend over Discord to start their TP, and hope that you get the timing right, so that when you teleport onto meatr0 that's stuck in the cutscene, you just enter the zone at that second. and then you don't get trapped in the cutscene and they do. If you come too early, you get trapped in the cutscene. If you go too late, you get trapped in the cutscene. So you've got to get it at that perfect window, and you feel very good about yourself. So this bit is the first, you're about to get into the town of Act 5. So Act 4 is all over, this is the last act. You're on the run now to killing Malthael in the end of the game. We're going to fight, it's not even a boss, it's just a fight. She sucks. She's another boss who just runs away. And she literally has 3 spawn places where she can teleport. So Metro's got to try and like hit her and then 7-sided strike as quick as you can. But still, that's not too bad. But like, you've got to try and like, and especially if you've got balance there, that fight's trivial because you just run over and your first hit kills her. But you just really want her to not teleport in 4 locations and waste your time. So I'm going to say this at every single map coming up. This is the worst map in the game. So this map sucks. This map, the next map, and the map after all suck. So this is just so random. It's an absolute mess. Getting empowered is so good though. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's a good start. That'll make up for what's going to be a
happen to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So lots of dead ends, lots of loops, lots of events that can trap you. You can walk a really long time to find you just went nowhere. And no matter what, you have to walk a long time. So the game, like, you have to pay this sacrifice to the game to dedicate some time to this stupid map. So what Metro's going to do is he's just trying to... We've sort of got some, like, I don't know, like, mantras we've said to make this not hurt as much, but we think running through gates is good. If you see a gate, it sort of means you're going in the right direction. Going in straight lines tends to be good. As soon as you start to deviate, to see it on the map this early, which sometimes doesn't mean a lot, because that's really good actually.
Makes it look good with empowered for sure.
Yeah, but still, that was like we just walked one way, turned around, went back.
I had to make very little decisions, which is always a good thing.
So what you got to do here is kill these 4 pile of bodies. So we're just going to do that. He's going to time one of them to be a 7-sided strike. So if you get sucked in at the last minute,
I take advantage of the fact she sucks you in for that one.
you have to fight her a second time. She doesn't do it the second time, annoyingly. Little dash. So what we're about to do is, this map isn't too bad that's coming up. What you have to do, we're looking for a path, and look at home with us. It's like a little walkway that we're trying to look. It's on the edge of the map. It looks, it looks kind of like that. So it's going to be on the edge of the map, and we've just got to find that leads to a second zone that looks exactly like this. It's another one that fakes us out. What you don't want to happen is just to walk the whole thing. So there it is.
Here it is. So that was about an average
So
one.
if you walk along the whole wall, you know, it's a terrible map. So now what Metro's going to do is he's not going to hug the wall anymore. He's going to make a beeline straight to the other side of the map. Oh, perfect!
My God.
So that gives, because this side gives you the map marker that when you've gone to the end, so you can sort of give it a little bit more leeway and not hug the wall, and you sort of want to cheat a bit. But Metro just found it straight away.
I'm the king cheater.
Yeah, that's really good. Only the cat is the king cheater. So we're going to... He's not going to suck you in this time. I tend to 7.
Yeah, I should have saved that last one, but...
So he's going to dash in, 7-sided clear everyone out, hope it kills her, and it does. Walk down, talk to Miriam, and now we go into the other worst map of the run. So it's not as bad as that first one, and luckily that first one was pretty good. So we can hope for good luck here. Same thing with the other maps. This map, the only thing you really know about it is where it ends, and the map always ends facing northwest. So you start northwest too. So what you want to do is follow the path, try not to get stuck in loops. Doors and gates are good as usual. And every time it lets you go northwest, you've got to make a decision, am I going to commit or not? So look at that. That sucks. So that one up there is nothing, so that's just complete dead end. So walking essentially backwards.
Yeah, I thought this might be a loop, but turns out
that gate was the great gate. So event, don't touch the events, just waste your time. So what we're going to do is head as northwest as we can. There's a tile that we're looking for, which is a bridge. It's not that bridge, but it looks like that bridge.
I just feel
I
inside
know, it's right
that I
there.
need to run more.
That's
yeah,
pretty good.
That's it.
That's actually pretty quick. Imagine if we went that way first.
Yeah, if I didn't get dead-ended.
So
that
that's
would've
not a
been
bad
pretty
map.
nice.
We've made good
So
decisions.
I'm going to dash straight up the stairs.
Yep. Monk's really good in that. You don't have to walk upstairs, you can just dash straight up. So AusSpeedruns is the first instance of a fight where he talks and it makes him invincible. So what you at home when you're fighting AusSpeedruns can do is if you mash spacebar while you're talking to him, it'll make him shut up, you're skipping his text, and he starts taking damage again. So what meatr0o didn't do is use his blind in the first phase because he gets invincible for a big portion of it, and he saves it for the second phase where he can damage him fully. So meatr0o's going to do a really cool dash sequence right now. Same thing, do the waypoint. He's going to dash up, talk, waypoint back to his waypoint, and then do a very precise dash, starts talking to Miriam, see if he gets it. Hey! That's hard on a different monitor.
Yeah, I was worried I was going to have the same issues before, but that
Yeah,
wouldn't
that's
work.
really good. So, now we're on the run to the worst map of the game. So, this one is bad. So, this fight's pretty easy. All we're doing is trying to group all these mobs up as much as you can. meatr0o's got the fight pretty optimized. There's not much you can do to make this good. I tend to, when I come in here, I have...
What do you do?
what is it called? Explosive strike?
Cyclone strike.
Yeah, cyclone strike. So I suck in all the small ones. You got time to 7-sided until then. Kill them with Tempest Rush, and then the door opens. So now in the next bit, what we're doing here is coming up. We're not there right yet, but I'll explain before we get there. Oh, it's pretty good. Really quick. There are 3 locations that this can spawn. There are 3 locations, and one of them's pretty close. We'll go to the close one first. Oh, guide stone straight away. So what we found, you have to get 2 guide stones to eliminate. Did you eliminate the close one? No.
Oh,
And there's a guide stone right there. Oh, okay, never mind. So that's really lucky. These guide stones eliminate the... Oh, that's
Yeah, unfortunate.
sucks. That's so
So at least I
far.
didn't have to waste checking the other one. So that's above average luck to find them. Usually this map's enormous, and they can spawn literally anywhere on the map. So we have other strategies about how to know which one is the right tomb.
Yeah, so what ends up happening is when you have the 3 of them, and if you don't find any guide stones, what we started doing is just walk into one 50-50 or what, 33. Because if you go in there, you know, trying to find the guide stones just wastes as much time as trying to go through them all. But what we discovered is, in the correct one, and you might even see them now, that ghost there, the green, they only spawn in the correct one. So then what we started to do is, you don't actually have to commit and finish this, you can just go into it and have a look. Dip your head in and see if you see a green ghost. If it takes too long to see a green ghost, maybe you start to stress out and leave. But if you see a yellow ghost without breaking any breakables on the floor, because if you break a breakable on the floor, sometimes they spawn, you can just assume that you're in the yellow one, you're in the incorrect one, you leave. Correct one, you see a green, you stay in. Really another weird example of why did they do that, but probably just to tell you if you're in the correct one or not and ignore their own mechanics.
Yeah, it's so fun that there's like hidden clues about which way the right way, but playing casually, you just never know.
That's pretty quick.
Yeah, I've definitely had worse.
Yeah. So now we're at the point where you don't even really look for the guide stones. It's just like if there's one in your way, you pick it up. But you know, in the end, you were just trying to high roll here. Like if I get a bad Corvus, I'd get a bad one anyway. So just go in there, and if it's bad, we reset. Whatever. But yeah, you literally, sometimes those passes of Corvus can spawn right next to you when you walk in, and you can just go walk, enter, green ghost, and you've saved like literally 3 minutes. Like it's make or break run this section, which is like terrible because it's, you know, what do? You can't control this. You can just get a great spawn and have a god run. And you run for nearly 2 hours. You have this map throw this garbage at you. So this map is really difficult that he's on now. Tons of loops, really wide arching, and it would go really far northwest, northeast, northeast, southeast, southwest. You're probably on the right way here. This can be a dead end, what he's on right now, or the exit.
Oh, I
And it was-
nailed that.
Yeah, and that's really fast. So you can spend another minute in there normally.
Yeah, there are so many dead ends and loops that we don't have to watch.
Yeah, so that fight's easy.
I have done everything to ensure
Now we're on the walk
we
to the
always
actual worst part of the run. So this part coming up is the battlefields, and this is where runs go to die. the map is massive, and you've got to find two siege runes, and they're just one spawns on the edge of the map, one spawns and it's anywhere on the edge, so you've got to walk across this huge space. You don't even know really where you start. You've got to sort of get your head around that in the beginning, and you've got to walk around the entire edge of the map to find that edge one, and then you've got to find one in the middle. You can optimize it a bit by trying to do both at the same time, but it really depends where you start. You have really no idea where you start. But so before we get there, we're on the run, on the path of war. This run is a set piece. There's not much you have to do about it. All you've got to do is kill those mobs there. You don't have to kill any of the other ones that generate spirit off them. He'll try and flashing tail kick just to make sure he does enough damage so he one-shots them and doesn't waste any time. Because we're literally only held up by killing those one. When this section's finished though, what's going to happen is he's going to do a similar trick that we did before, which was to a waypoint that we don't have access to yet. What he has to do in that section is, and you'll see him do it, is break 2 or 4 chains that are going to have these towers that will ranged attack him to interrupt him while he's doing the TP and kill him off. So he's going to dash, Tempest Rush, dash, and then 7-sided this guy. And by doing it, that 7-sided also takes out the chains. Quickly waypoint, go to the waypoint that's now active, and skip that entire event. Which is very slick. So now, this is Battlefields of Eternity. This is the worst part of the map. And the worst, but you can see one already. That is massive. So is that the edge one or the center one? Probably the edge one.
Yeah, edge one.
Okay, so he's got a little bit of a run to get there, but it's not too bad. So this edge one, finding the edge one first is really good because the edge one's the hardest one to find. Now he literally cuts out like 3/4 of the map. And he can just now walk into the middle and just do a wide arc, make sure he covers as much ground as he can in the center of the map. What you also don't know is where the exit is, and the exit is a random point at the edge. But luckily, once you find this center tile, the center rune, not one, thought that was here. Once you find that, it'll come up on the map. So you don't have to go looking for it, it'll tell you once you find this rune. But it's handy if you can find it by accident beforehand, but I sort of feel like if you found the exit before you found the 2 runes, you're probably having a bad battlefield.
Nervous.
Yeah, no, it's not being nice. So he might be at the top of the map. There it is. That's a pretty bad spot for it to be in. I feel like you're at the top of the map right now. So it's probably going to be southwest-ish. Yeah, it is. So he spawned at the northeast of the map. As you can see, it's really hard to tell where you are. It looked like he was on the bottom of the map as he's running there, but the map continues down. So yeah, so you sort of have to try and get the lay of the land while you're doing it. And it's hard when the map is laid out so terribly like this. So yeah, that's the exit. There's not too much extremely difficult now rest of the run, so he's there's still some bad things that can happen, but it's nothing like that. That's it, literally, if you're on world record pace run. Oh! What is that? That's balance.
I guess we'll be killing Malthel.
Yeah, I guess killing Malthel with that. And that's, you know, so the thing with balance and legendaries in this game is they scale up with you as you level up too. So with balance, the later you get it, I mean, you know, you want to have it do as much of the run as possible, but right now it's as strongest as it's going to be because we're not going to be really going to level up anymore. So right now we have a level 23 balance with squirts
and balance, and I can blind still and do more.
So he's doing like 1 billion damage.
He's dead.
So, and squirts also will, it gives you a huge DPS boost as long as you don't take damage. So you can see the buff he's got right now above his skills that say 10. It's charged up to 10, so that's the most damage you can do. He just took damage, so he lost it all. So his first hit at Malthal, he does not want to take damage. He wants to blind him and Tempest Rush him straight away with the Diablo Whip. And yeah, you'll see he'll do... But the annoying thing as well, he can't one-shot Malthal, because Malthal has iframes in the middle where he talks. Yeah. So you've got to mash the talk text, and he has AoE damage, so he probably will take squirts away. But if we can get the most out of squirts as we can before it goes away, that'll help. But yeah, literally, like, he can't do more damage in the game now than right now.
Yeah.
This is a build.
Optimal configuration.
Yeah. So he's got a couple of really precise dashes to do.
I was a bit conservative with that one.
Yep, so there's another one coming up. And another one coming up. You time 3 dashes, that's a hard one. Okay, so this map is very random. It can be really rough, but what you can do to mitigate that roughness is just hug the right wall. Don't like how this is going right now. It shouldn't be going up this way. It can end seeing an event's really bad too. Yeah, so we really want this to be bowing right. Yeah, so that's ended up. That's really bad. It could be that turn off right there. So what you want is for that map to go, the path to go to the right, go back in on itself and end really quick. It won't always do that, but it can. When it does this, bad things start happening. So he's probably going to be doing a really long run. And I could say out of like, you know, this is over 1 in 100 runs probably.
Yeah.
It really is always to the right. And if it does this, then you just got to wear it. The next one is, the next map isn't as bad as this one.
Looks good.
Can be, yeah, this is the end.
So yeah, that's pretty
Terrible.
honking.
Yeah. Doesn't get much worse than that, really.
It's the price we pay for getting a balance.
Yep. You got to pay the
Diablo,
balance tax.
yeah, Diablo giveth, Diablo taketh away.
Yep. So you can see that balance melted. So every fight now is trivial. No one can stand up to us, don't have to worry about anything anymore. We don't want enlightened shrines. We absolutely don't want to level up because every level is just going to make our balance weaker. That's really good. What you want to be doing is going southwest here. Actually, let's not do southwest. But so similar with that last map, how we're always going southeast, this one we're always going southwest. You want to go southwest in a straight line and not do any bends like it's doing now. So as soon as you commit to southwest, what we're looking for is some portals. And so right there, it was a really short southwest bow. They just wasted our time with that walk. So yeah, that can come really quick, or they can make you work for it. They made us work for it. So now meatr0o is on the run to Malthal. We're right at the end of the game. He's got to walk through a couple of death gates. He's going to do a lot of cool dashes to get to them and minimize the running. He's got to go through 2 more gates, I think, and then he's at Malthal. And then once he gets to Malthal, we'll do the fight, talk to Tyrael, and the run's over. So we've got nothing really that can slow us down now. We're not looking for any drops. All meatr0o's trying to do is execute his...
Trying to not get interrupted by enemies that charge you on this zone.
Yeah, they're the biggest way to slow you down. So he's right there about to start fighting Malthal. All he needs to pay attention to now is to keep squirts up. He's got to make sure he gets his blind off, and he can use 7-sided strikes for dodge damage if he needs it, but he just wants to get that Tempest Rush off with all his damage buffs. So he's done it. Give the text, that's really good. He didn't lose his squirts, I don't think. So he could dash in and 7-sided strike and end. Oh well. It's alright. Good. Good fight. Nearly couldn't be better than that. Okay, so he finished at level 23, which is a good level. He drops legendaries. We don't need them. Can't do
Okay, we're going to loot it. Just to keep the...
to let you feel bad.
Just to keep it tidy.
Wildwood, who cares?
Alright, and time will be when I talk to Tyrael here. So ready on time.
Where is the blessings?
How do we go? 141.14? That's a really good time.
Yeah, that's a really good time.
That's a really good time.
Will have released
Yeah, wow.
Diablo.
Excellent.
Alright, thanks so much for having us, everyone. It's always a pleasure to do this run. It's so fun to do. If you ever want to join in, have a go as well. We have a lot of resources on the Diablo Discord where you can join in. But yeah, it's a really fun map because yeah, you always have to be thinking on the zones you're on, even though it looks like you're just running in a straight line. Every run's different. You've always got to be thinking about what comes next. It's just like a really fun, active run, almost like a slot machine as well. And you're just hoping to get the dopamine of a great item. It's really fun. But yeah, thanks so much for having us.
Yep. Thanks, everyone.
Alright, well, that was Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls, ran by meatr0o. Up next we have Kingdom Hearts, any percent JP, ran by Saiyans, and we did have some donations in there, though I didn't get a chance to really read them out, as it was a pretty intensive run. We did have $15 from Cream Pioneer, who says, hey, more like Sultan Uncool, right? We also had $25 from Thoda. Speedrun is what I appreciate about you. and $15 from Anonymous with no comment. That is the end of my host shift, though, so I will be handing it over to the next host. So, bye for now.
Good morning, ASM. Welcome to the night shift. It's me, Noops. I'll be hosting you through the next few runs, including this one, Kingdom Hearts, run by Saiyans. The winner of the bid war was the Japanese version, so we're going to get some nice hiragana, katakana, and kanji on your screens very shortly. Without much further ado, I'm going to send it straight over to Saiyans.